Bonjour mes amis, bienvenue. Hey friends, welcome back to the Language Tutor French. So I got a really cool lesson for you today. Today we're going to be talking about the future tense in French. And it's really not that hard to do, but let's just jump right in. You'll see how easy it is. All right, so first of all, what do I mean by the future tense? You know, we can say, je vais travailler, I am going to work. You know, we can say someone is going to do something. You know, we can just use the verb to go and the infinitive verb, and that definitely works. But we also want to know the future tense to talk about things that, here's the key word, will happen. Yes, the key word is will. So basically, that's what we're talking about. Somebody will do something. You know, a couple of examples might be, I will be a teacher one day. She will live in Paris one day. That's her dream. And so that's what we're talking about, will. All right. So there's not really a good translation in French for the word will by itself. And so we don't really just say that. You know, in English, we just throw in the word will and there you go. It's pretty easy language to learn. But in French, we have to do things a little bit differently. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the infinitive verb. So for example, travailler, which means to work. We're actually going to leave that infinitive verb just like it is. Now, at that point, we just add an ending to the infinitive verb. No big deal, not a big deal at all. So let's go right to our chart and let's put those endings on the chart right here. Now for the je form, I will do something, the ending's going to be AI. We're going to use a S for the tu form, and for the il, elle, on form, we're going to use a. Now, up on the top right for the nous form, we're going to use ons, on. And I bet you can guess what the vous form is. It's easy, right? It's real easy to, okay. Easy. Okay. And then on the bottom right, we have on, O-N-T. Okay, great. Now, those are our endings. Let's clear the chart and let's look at some examples. Look at this verb, to listen, écouter. Now, I want to put the forms of this verb on there so you can see how we're doing this. So leave écouter just like it is, and let's put the ending. So je form would be écouterai, écouterai. So notice I've left the ER there. Didn't take it off like we do when we conjugate, and I just stuck the ending right on there. That's pretty easy, isn't it? It's pretty easy. All right, so same thing for the tu form, écoutera, and for the il, elle, on form, écoutera also. Nous écouterons, vous écouterez, and il and elle form, the they form is écouteront. All right, so really easy. We're just throwing endings on the verb. We don't have to take anything off. Now, I want to show you one other verb that's pretty much following the same thing, but we have to just remember one slight little change, okay? Let's look at the verb vendre, to sell. Now, notice this verb ends with an RE. So when, you know, we have a lot of verbs that end in RE in French. So when we have a verb in French that ends in RE, just take off the E at the end and leave the R. Okay, so just leave the R, just take off the E. And now we have a nice little stem there that we can use to put the endings on it and change it to the different forms. All right, so let's look at this. So I will sell. Yeah, I will sell this car one day. Je vendrai. All right, tu vendras. Il, elle, on vendra aussi. Nous vendrons. Vous vendrez. And ils, elles vendront. All right. So just take off the E, put the ending on there with verbs end in RE. Okay. Now we have to talk about those irregular verbs. We know there always has to be a troublemaker. So there are a few verbs in French that say, hey, we're going to do things differently because we just like to be our own different person, our own different verb. We're going to be different. All right. So let's take a minute to look at some of those different verbs. One of them is this one, être. Now, être is going to completely take a different root. It's going to take the root ser. So once you have the root ser, we just simply put the ending on it. So je serai, I will be. Tu seras. Il, elle, on sera. Nous serons. Vous serez. And il and elle seront. Now that we've seen être, let's change it to avoir, to have. Now, avoir is going to take the root A-U-R. So I will have, j'aurai. You will have, tu auras. Il, elle, on aura. Nous aurons. Vous aurez. And ils and elles auront. All right, yeah, pretty easy. Once you get the root, you're good to go. All right, now I want to show you another irregular one, and that's the verb aller, to go. And again, aller is going to take on this completely different root. It's going to use an IR. So the je form would be irait. The tu form would be ira. And you can probably fill in the rest of these, I know, because you're already seeing the pattern here. The il, elle, and the on form is ira. The vous, the nous form, we'll do nous first at the top, iront. And the vous form is irait. And the il and elle form is iront. All right. Well, mes amis, once you see the pattern and you get those endings down, it's really not that hard to do the future tense. And just remember, this is when you're saying will. Something will happen. I will do something. Someone will be somewhere. Whatever. Anytime you're going to say will for the future tense, that's going to be this tense. Now, if you're going to say I'm going to do something, someone is going to do something, use the verb aller. Je vais travailler. Il va écouter. He's going to listen. So use that structure when you're saying someone, you're really going to say they're going to do something. You can stick with that structure. All right, so now you have two ways that you can use to say something's going to happen in the future. Whether you're going to do something or it will happen is great. All right, so now you have some new tools to pull into your French conversation. And hey, guys, thanks for hanging out with me on this episode. And hey, remember to practice with me on the podcast. You just look up the Language Tutor French, join the podcast there. And hey, if you want to, chip in, contribute a little bit to the podcast, that's great. I don't really make anything off that, but if you want to help out with equipment or whatever, you can donate right there on anchor.fm. And I sure appreciate it. Thank you to everyone that's been donating to the Language Tutor. It just really means a lot. And all your support, go to the website at languagetutor.co and get some downloadable written practices. Well, mes amis, thank you so much for hanging out. And I will see you on the next episode of the Language Tutor French series. À bientôt. Friends, thanks for watching the Language Tutor. If you have a question for me, feel free to leave it in the comment section below the video. And please click subscribe and the notification bell so that you'll never miss any of our language lessons.